arrived in Kuwait, my 118th nation, and I'm here just for a touch under 48 hours. Fly off to Jeddah on Monday to make my big trip to Eritrea. Yes. But instead of taking taxis, I'm just gonna take buses. It cost me half a dinar to get to my accommodation. That's a bit of a walk. So downtown Kuwait City, the Marriott Hotel, I reckon they'll be asking $250 a night, $300 a night. My hotel has cost me like roughly £45, plus I have to pay 5 dinar city tax and all, which didn't be paid in my bill. But yeah, I just paid 100 fils for like 4 dates in like a vacuum packed container. Sticky situation though, but I had 150 fils in coins. Okay, so this is what, let's see, roughly £45 sterling a night gets you in Kuwait. Yeah, there's no balcony, but good views of the city center, I guess. Queen size bed. I guess I'd be used for a cot then. Usual bathroom shower. Oh yeah, so all this stuff that is actually here, I'm going to take because, well, it's all mine. Yes. And then, pretty sure as we are in a Muslim country, there would be a, what would you call it? Yeah, the Quran and, oh well, surprisingly this, I'm sure there'd be a Quran here. Oh, this TV hosting thing. Hair dryer. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm up at 7 AM in the morning. I was a bit. I can't really say that I am sleeping well or not, but yeah. I just thought, okay, well, it's 7 AM now. I might as well get out before the early morning heat. Have a look around. The Kuwait Tower is going to be a bit of a walk. Excuse me, I farted. Yes, but I'm only in Kuwait for like less than 48 hours. I have to leave for Jeddah tomorrow. It's quite important. I get to Jeddah for my trip to Eritrea. So I'm going to make do with my 118th nation. It's kind of crazy how Iraq was 98 less than 2 years ago, and now Kuwait is 118. So let's get going to the Kuwaiti Towers. So I was in the Middle East, in the Gulf, in February this year. You know, I went to Jordan, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and the UAE, just to round off like part of the Middle East. But then I really wanted to get to Kuwait, but it was quite costly to get there from either Oman or the UAE. Though I was like asking at least, what, 150 quid, and I thought, no, that's pointless because it cost me like 130 to get to Bahrain via Qatar, and then it was like only about 55 to go from Daman to Oman. But it's cost me £150 to go from London to Bratislava, from Budapest to Kuwait, and then from Kuwait to Jeddah, just so I can get my flight to Asmara in a few days' time. Yeah. A lot of my friends basically said Kuwait is a bit dull and all, but basically because, I mean, there's not much things to do. It's a really tiny country. My cousin lived here for about 2 years as her husband was working on oil fields. And so she left around 2012 to move to Scotland with her family, because she'd been in the Middle East for 5 years, and she even lived through Kuwait during the whole Arab Spring. But nothing bad happened here in Kuwait. So a lot of people said to me that Kuwait isn't like a walkable city, which I'm not really finding any problems right now. I mean, there are crossings everywhere, but I don't think these are ones you can actually control. You can press the button and wait. I think you just have to wait until the lights go red or green, and then you cross. Yes. So about 7:30 right now, and on my way to Kuwaiti Towers, just right there. Finally in walking reach of Kuwaiti Towers. Wow. Just can't believe I finally made it to Kuwait. When my cousin was living here, I planned on seeing her while I was in the Middle East. This is like 2012. Sadly, she had to get back to New Zealand around the time, and we never really got to meet up. We eventually met up in Scotland. It's kind of funny, like, you're seeing the Kuwaiti Towers and then a TGIF Fridays and a Krispy Kreme right in front of you. I had a friend of mine who served in the Gulf War for the US Army before he moved to Britain. So he'd be quite familiar if he came back to Kuwait, but he hasn't been back in over 30 years. It's roughly 3 Kuwaiti dinar to go up to the top, which I'm not gonna do that. I spent like 3 Kuwaiti dinar on groceries yesterday. Right there, we got the Kuwaiti Towers, the iconic building of Kuwait City. But then here's a little feature you see on Google Maps, the Kuwaiti dinar boat. Wow, that's a 5 Kuwaiti dinar note and a 1 Kuwaiti dinar note. And the artists have done such a great job. It kind of makes you want to go back home and make a paper out of the money. But similar like to the time when on The Simpsons, when they're in Japan, Homer makes a crane out of the last $1,000,000 yen note, and then the crane blows away. You don't want that to be doing with your Kuwaiti dinars, they're quite valuable. Yeah, so the sun is being blocked by the big Kuwaiti Towers. 3 dinar to get up there. Not paying that today. So I was eating at this South Asian eatery, like these little stalls they have, which is just sell like hot Indian food with tea. So I ordered chapati with egg for a quarter of a dinar, 250 fils. And then they were like, okay, you want glass or cork thing with your karak chai? So I took the most cheapest, like 100 fils. But they charged me 250 fils for a cup of karak, which I was like, burn shot. You know, and that's my go-to word when South Asians fuck around with me.